So at the end of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting for September, the Central Bank Governor emphasized the regulator's determination to launch the E-Naira on the 1st of October as the country will celebrate her 61st independence. He also talked about how it will work and why the CBN engaged the Beat Inc., which is a foreign company. This has generated a lot of conversation, Lade, you remember. And people are saying, well, we do have Nigerian companies that can actually handle this, so why do we have to go outside? And, you know, we're still talking about managing FX.
Exactly.
And this is going
national security, that's another one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss more about this. Joining us from our Abuja studio, Mr. Musa Jimo, Director, Payment System Management Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria, to throw more light to the E-Naira and, of course, other issues. Good to speak with you, Mr. Jimo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great. So what should Nigerians expect from the 1st of October? We're told that the E-Naira will be launched. What should we expect to see?
Okay, thank you very much. In a very simple term, I think Nigerians should expect something great for this country. Nigerians should expect the launch of E-Naira, which is the digitalized form of the physical Naira cash. Nigerians should expect a march to prosperity, a process by which we can deepen our financial inclusion, by which we can bring more people into the financial space. Nigeria should expect that they're going to have a payment system that becomes more efficient, that would cost less, that becomes more resilient in terms of the infrastructure that drives, you know, the E-Naira. So all in all, I think it's a prosperity for Nigeria and also for Africa. Nigeria is actually leading the rest of African countries to launch the central bank digital currency E-Naira. So it's a prospect for Nigeria and it's a prospect for Africa.
All right, Mr. Jim, but can you, paint a picture on how the E-Naira is actually going to work in Nigeria?
Okay. There are several processes that are involved. First, I think we all need to understand the fact that the E-Naira is just an electronic representation of your physical Naira. And so it's going to be one-to-one. There is no arbitrage. If you hold one E-Naira, it's equivalent to your physical 1 Naira. And the processes that are involved is that, first, central bank is going to be the central authority in terms of the minting and the issuance of the E-Naira. So that responsibility rests, squarely with the central bank. Central bank will issue just the same way, the physical notes and coins are issued. Central bank will issue the virtual one. And then the banks, the commercial banks and other financial service providers will be involved in the distribution. And so as a consumer, as a citizen, as a Nigerian, or as a bank customer, what I need to do, starting from October 1st, is to have a wallet created, similar to the way you open a bank account. Nigerians will be expected to open their e-wallet, the E-Naira wallet, where they can keep the E-Naira. So first thing, the banks will be involved and, other service providers. So October 1st, we expect everyone to take their phones and go to, there are two basic operating systems, very popular operating systems used by our phones. It's either the Android or, the iOS. And so if you're an Android phone user, you just go to Google Play and download the E-Naira, app. And if you're an iOS Apple user, you go to the App World and download the E-Naira app. Once you do that, there are certain instructions that will come with it upon activation, and then very simple instruction that you go through in connecting to your bank to register or create an e-wallet for you. And so once the e-wallet is created, your bank will do, once you initiate the creation of the e-wallet or opening of the e-wallet, your bank will do some KYC, some kind of background check, just to be sure that you are who you say you are. And upon that, the system will create an e-wallet for you, the E-Naira wallet for you, which is similar to the account, the bank account that you used to have. And upon that, then you need to fund it. Just like you fund your account, you then need to fund it. And it's also very simple. Through the same app, you can actually go in there, instruct your bank by choosing a bank, and then indicate the account that you want the money to be moved from to your E-Naira wallet. And all this will be done seamlessly. You also have an option of walking to a bank branch, and later, as we move along, the agents' outlets will also be open for you to be able to walk to, hand over your cash, especially for those that are underserved, hand over your cash, and you have it digitized into an e-wallet. So it's going to be a very simple process that will be highly guided by a lot of automated process within the app. And I think every Nigerian, especially those that already have a bank account, will be very easy for them to do that. And for those that do not have a bank account, the agent outlets and the bank branches are there for them to approach so that they can be guided through in terms of how to open the e-wallet.
Okay, well, with other digital currencies, the holders have, kind of full control over their wallets. Will it be the same process with the E-Naira?
Yes, you have a full control. It's your wallet. It's going to be protected with, PIN, with your password and all that, whichever secret code I use, no one can access your e-wallet except yourself, which is why those kind of background checks will be needed. Checking that, your identity, either you're using your NIN, national identity number, to validate yourself, or you're using your bank verification code number to validate yourself. And when you do that, you'll be given an opportunity to select a secret code, or your password or your PIN, with which you safeguard your wallet. And so it's only you that can access it, just the same way your account, bank accounts are protected. But this one is coming with a very strong encryption mechanisms that makes it very tight for anyone to hack because of the technology upon which this E-Naira is going to run, which is, the blockchain.
Okay, so sounds interesting and it should be reassuring. But, I mean, for an average Nigerian, I'll say, why do I need to go through this? Because already, when you talk of financial inclusion, we have the e-payment system, we have the debit card, we have the POS and all that. So why should I bother to do this? What advantage do I have?
Cost. Number one advantage is about cost. Second one is about security. And the third one is about diversification. Let me start from, the cost. Today, the cost of indent, the cost of producing the Naira and the coins, the physical notes and the coins is very high and all that. It costs money to print money in this country. Now, with the minting of the E-Naira is electronic, so it doesn't cost you. Cost of indent will actually come down. That is a cost, that will basically go down, and that will translate to the advantage that the users will take in terms of the fees that they pay. So by the time we are out, and very soon we'll be out there, educating the masses in terms of what the guideline and what the do's and don'ts of the E-Naira will be. You will see that transaction costs have actually come down greatly. And this is because of the cost that we have also, brought down in terms of the printing of the Naira. And that cost also transmits, to the underserved, the underbanks. One of the major deterrents of financial inclusion is the high cost of financial services. People keep their money in their homes because they think that if they keep money in the bank, it's very... And that has been the driving, policy across all CBN regulation on cashless policies and all payment system initiatives to make sure that we bring down the cost of financial services. So once we bring down the cost, it will be an attraction because it will cost you less to use electronic form of payment to make your transactions and all that. And also the cost of digitizing and the cost of even keeping your money. That's one. Two, efficiency is brought to bear. Like I told you, it's going to run on a technology that is very, very fast, that is very, very efficient. Intermediary have been reduced in terms of the number of entities that are involved when you want to do, for example, a funds transfer. So efficiency has been brought to bear. You also have another advantage still on payment system efficiency and resilience. As we have today, we know the kind of technology and infrastructure challenges that we have, whether it is telecommunication or power and all that. And so sometimes our transactions do fail. Yeah, they do fail. And then dispute arises. This is going to run on a technology that it's almost 99.99% available because the technology will run on a principle that technology people call atomicity. So a kind of system where transaction is either 100% consummated or 100% fail. So there is no partial execution of transaction. It's either it's successful or not successful. You won't be having what you popularly know as dispenser. So it brings that kind of resilience to the entire system. And the fact that the liability of this money, the E-Naira wallet, is on CBN, directly on CBN, which is similar to the cash you hold. The cash you hold today, it's the liability of the cash you hold today rests squarely with the CBN. And so it gives Nigerians the opportunity to bank with CBN, so to speak, if you want to. But more to it is about the cost that it's going to bring. It's about the pervasiveness of the system and the fact that we are also opening up the payment system terrain, adding more options by which you can make payment. But I want you to know that the entire system will still continue to be resilient because this system is going to integrate with the existing payment infrastructure, existing banking infrastructure, which is why we are running a two-tier model where central bank has its own specific role, and then the banks also will have their own specific role. But one thing that I want an average Nigerian to take away is that the cost of performing financial services will be drastically reduced under this arrangement.
All right, Mr. Jimo, let's look at acceptance now. Do merchants have a choice not to accept the E-Naira?
Today, anywhere you present Naira to pay, compulsorily it must be accepted because that's our fiat currency, right? And so the same way Naira is accepted that you can't reject it is the same way E-Naira must be accepted. Anywhere in this country that E-Naira is presented, it must be accepted. So merchants must accept E-Naira as a means of payment.
Okay. All right. So, there's also been talk about, your recent partnership with Bit Inc. for the rollout, it being a foreign company and all of that. There's been concerns and, talk about why not using a fintech company here in Nigeria. What's your response to that? Well,
it's all about what the objective is. Central bank digital currency is not something that every country has implemented. Like I told you, we're basically tracing the blades in Africa. Nigeria is about the only African country that is doing it. And so many countries, even advanced countries, have not touched it. You can only talk of China and the Bahamas, that have actually trying to do something very serious on central bank digital currency. So the technology is not everywhere. You need to be very sure. You can't come and use Nigeria as a testing ground and then you say, oh, if it works, well, if it doesn't work. You need to use entities that have actually done it, that are sure of it. There are so many narratives about central bank digital currency, so many technology that people are presenting. The fact is that which one has worked? And so what we did is to partner with an entity that has done it, that has that experience. But because we know that eventually the system is going to run in Nigeria, we also want to domicile certain responsibilities here. And so the arrangement is such that you're going to have a Nigerian incorporated company, call it Bits Nigeria, who will basically be running the system. So eventually it's going to be a Nigerian company that will be running it. And then you're going to have, at the end of the day, some Nigerians helping to manage this thing. So I don't consider it as a foreign company per se. The technology may be coming from foreign country, but in terms of operation, it's going to be managed by Nigerians.
Well, that sounds really interesting and attractive to Nigerians, and we do hope that we would see that implemented soon, so that we don't have Bit Inc. running for years and all that. But another area of questioning is, you did say this is a technology-based platform, and also that merchants will be compelled to accept it, because like Naira and everything. What if I go to a merchant and the person does not have the technology or does not have the data, to do this? Then, I mean, what do I do? Because this is one problem that is facing financial inclusion in the country at the moment. So that seems to be even more technology-driven. How do you spread it when the access to the technology and data and all this is a challenge?
Well, E-Naira is a journey. We don't expect that October 1st, everyone in Nigeria, all the merchants and all the business outlets in Nigeria will be accepting E-Naira and all that. We don't even expect that, come October 1st, every Nigeria will have E-Naira. It's a journey, and, we continue to go. Recall that there was a time in this country when you have to practically beg business outlets, merchants, market owners, and all that to accept POS, to accept card, right? We used to beg and all that. But we've come to a point now where the market owners are even asking you to come and give them POS terminal. So it's a migration. The merchants will soon begin to see the benefits. They themselves would ask. They are going to ask for E-Naira because they will see the benefits of E-Naira. There are so many benefits that accrue to them. Cost of, acceptance of E-Naira. It's going to cost less. They're not going to have so much charge. Their total sales is not going to be discounted so heavily and all that. Yes, technology is a problem, and signals can fail and all that. But these are issues that we contend with every day. The same way we manage our phones to make sure that when we want to make a call, there's signal, or we stay in a location where we can get signals. It's the same way that the merchant devices will also continue to get signals. And the incentive that they are going to get from accepting E-Naira will compensate whatever it's going to take for them to maintain those acquiring devices or systems that they will use to accept payment from the individuals. I think it's going to be a win-win, both to the consumers that are spending E-Naira and the merchants and business outfits that are accepting E-Naira.
Okay, and you did say that one of the objectives is to increase revenue and tax collection. How do you hope to inculcate that into, the running of the E-Naira?
Well, it's just basically about bringing about transparency, making sure that everything is very transparent. Transactions are seen, and whatever transaction that is taxable or vatable, they are seen. It's about making sure that everything that qualifies to be vatted or to be taxed is seen within the system. That's the only thing. And that kind of transparency is what any government needs anyway. And I would imagine that the institution responsible for tax collection, it will be happy to hear this, because basically you have 100% access, to see the data that is working. And in any country that is very serious, transparency about business activities is what brings about prosperity. And so if you have a technology that will make it very easy for anyone to see that, oh, this is the transaction that we have conducted over the year, not only does it give us statistics that will help us in monetary policy activities, it will also bring about the transparency that the other agencies need in terms of doing their own job. That is from that perspective that we said it will help increase tax collection.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Musa Jimo, the Director of Payment System Management at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time. And we are certainly counting down to the 1st of October to use that E-Naira.
My wallet.
Yeah, get our E-Naira wallet.
I hope you're going. I hope you're going to download your wallet.
Oh yes.
We're counting down. We're just. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Just get set. Just get
set. All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, so one of the decisions that came out of the 5th MPC meeting, which is still focused, is, of course, the management of FX and the impact or the expected impact of retaining the rate. That will be after the break. We'll have that discussion, so join us. It's Business Morning on Channels Television.